Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network. The broadcast shows are for informational and entertainment purposes only. They are not designed to provide listeners with specific personal, medical, or counseling advice. Individuals with a medical issue should always consult their healthcare provider. MS&Me is not responsible for content of individual shows. The views expressed by show hosts or their guests are their own. Enjoy the show.
Hi, I want to welcome everybody to Live in Hope and Focus on Healing, part of the MS&Me Radio Network. My name is Kelly Alderton. I am a wife, mom, a health coach, entrepreneur, and an author. My book, Waking Up from MS, My Journey to Health, Healing, and Living Symptom-Free is available on Amazon, and it details my almost 30-year journey living with and beating MS. And you can find us on msmeairtime.pro. This radio network has been put together by people living with MS, and it is for people around the globe who are also living with MS, and hopefully we can give you some nuggets of information to really help you on your journey. Today's broadcast, I'm really excited to have my next guest, Kevin Smith from Dallas, Texas, on the line. Kevin, welcome to the call.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Kevin, you have such a unique story, and it's just one of empowerment and really of overcoming so many obstacles. But first, can you really tell us a little bit about yourself, and then also tell us about your diagnosis?
Well, I am 33. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis at the age of 22, going to 23, about a week before Christmas. I was out hanging with friends the night before, and we stayed up for probably around midnight, and I went home because I had to be at work at 4 a.m. I woke up around 3 o'clock with my left eye pointed the opposite direction. I panicked and started freaking out, and I called my dad, and my dad said that it was probably because that I was tired and that I needed more rest since I only got like 3 hours of sleep. So I went back to bed, and when I woke up, nothing had changed. So I went to the doctor, and my doctor said that he couldn't help me because it was out of his hands. So I had to go to the emergency room, and when I got to the emergency room, they said that I either have a brain tumor or I have multiple sclerosis. And I had no idea what multiple sclerosis was. So they did a spinal tap, they did an MRI, and the results came back that I have relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis, which means my life is going to be a roller coaster and unpredictable. When beforehand I thought it was more of a guaranteed, simple life, but now it's going to be chaos. So they gave me pamphlets with information about multiple sclerosis, and as I read it, I just started crying because I saw wheelchair, disability, medication.
Now, after that emergency room visit, Kevin, did they direct you then to a neurologist to follow up with you?
Yes, ma'am. They sent me to one neurologist, and the neurologist, he put me on a steroid to fix my eyes, and then he put me on Copaxone. And on the Copaxone, it made me really sick. Like I was sick daily with the big whelps on my stomach and my legs. And he just informed me that I was going to be taking this medication for the rest of my life to improve my life quality. Yeah, and then after the reaction of the Copaxone weren't doing great, he put me on Rebis, and Rebis was far worse. I was sick with malaria-type symptoms every day. I was on the floor shivering cold in the middle of Texas heat, and just every day with the flu.
Interesting.
It really wasn't a good life quality.
So they put you on the Copaxone. You were having horrible problems with that, so they, of course, is what they do, right, is to just get you on another drug, and you went on Rebis. And it's so interesting. You were saying you were having malaria-type symptoms. My sister, who also was diagnosed with MS, my twin sister, she went on Rebis. That was actually the final drug in about a 10-year process of being on the drug. That actually pushed her disease over the edge. I mean, it put her in a wheelchair. It's so debilitating.
The same thing did for me.
So Reba puts you in a wheelchair as well. That's interesting.
Yes, ma'am.
And so
Yep.
that puts you into the wheelchair. And what was your doctor telling you at that point?
Oh, at that point he was saying that I was having negative side effects from the drug, so let's try another drug. So now we're going on to the third MS medication, which was Tysabri. And Tysabri, it was a little bit better, but it was still going to a doctor's office and sitting with IV treatment for like 2 hours. And then you had the being scared constantly about getting PML, which is like brain rot. So you can have your brain rotting with MS, or you can have MS. You know, kind of double-edged sword.
Yeah, and let's talk about that, Kevin, because, right, so they took you from the Rebit, that put you in a wheelchair, then they get you to Tysabri, which we know that can give you the PML, which is progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy, guys. That is a brain infection that is deadly. So here you go from the wheelchair to Tysabri, and then the fears of PML, which obviously has to stress you out even more, thinking about that in the back of your mind at every moment, every time you're taking this drug.
So you're staying constantly stressed out. There's no endpoint to it.
Wow.
So after, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got it.
After a while of doing that, you know, my symptoms were still progressing. Like I wasn't getting any better. So my brother, he came down from Oklahoma and he came to the doctor's office with me to talk to the doctor about different options that we could do. And as I was telling the doctor about my constant leg pain that I was having, my brother was sitting behind the doctor and I was sitting in front of him, and the doctor was on the computer, and my brother watched the doctor get on Bing.com to see which medication that he was going to give me next.
Wait a second. Wait, we have to, stop the process here, Kevin. Your brother is watching your trusted neurologist, who's literally put you on several different medications already, just go to Bing, the search engine online, to find out what drug to put you on next.
Yes, ma'am. My neurologist.
I cannot believe that.
That was where I lost my faith in doctors and my neurologist at that point. When we left, my brother told me, and he said, your doctor obviously doesn't know what he's doing, so let's do it my way. And my brother was very knowledgeable in sports nutrition because he was a football athlete and he worked for GNC, and he had all this abundance of knowledge that he's been studying because he's been wanting me to go med-free, but I was scared to take the leap of faith.
Sure.
So as we drove home, he told me everything, and I was like, okay, that's it. We'll do it your way now. So that's where I completely got home. When I got home, I threw everything away. I got rid of all medication, which was like 10 pill bottles, and then also I quit taking the Tysabri. I just went cold turkey on everything.
Let's talk about what were you on all at that same time, because what historically happens is they give us a boatload of drugs, one to sleep, one for pain. What did they have you on?
Oh, the list. They had me taking medication for my spasms. They had Lyrica. They had, I can't think of the others. There was a pain medication. There was spasm medication. There was a sleep medication. There was an energy medication. It was a big list of stuff that I really didn't need. Because what my brother found was that vegetables that we eat do a certain thing for our body. Each one has a particular thing that they do special for us. The same thing with fruit. They all have a sole purpose that they can help us, like, reverse illness more of a natural way. Hippocrates said, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Everything that we need is in the food that we eat, except for nowadays we've gone man-made creation of food that isn't real food. So it doesn't give us the nutrients that we need.
Right.
So I changed my diet.
And you chucked all of those drugs that you're on, and you know what? That's the thing. People think they get MS and, okay, let's pick out a drug. Well, you don't understand what that means. That means pain meds, weight meds, spasm meds, everything. And every single one of them have side effects, and they're real side effects.
You got it.
And people need to understand that. Guys, our bodies are not DMD deficient. They're deficient in some way. Obviously, there's something going on with our body, so we have this diagnosis. The best thing to do is look at the root cause, not cover it up with a drug or a pill that's going to suppress our immune system and lead us to further disease progression, or just like with the Tisabri, the PML, which is inevitably death. So you have to really take that leap of faith, just like you did, Kevin. So you threw everything away, and then what happened?
Oh, I got a gym membership, and I got the gym membership with my brother, influence, and he came to the gym with me every day, and I got on the stationary bike because I was still uncertain about the gym because I never worked out in my life. I weighed 115 pounds a good majority of my life, so walking into a gym and seeing all these big dudes, like I was very self-conscious. Yeah, I was scared I was making the wrong choice. So I got on the stationary bike and I would pedal and I'd watch everybody else work out and try to learn from them. But as I was working out, I found that my legs were losing the pain as I turned the resistance up on the bike. So as I pedaled every day, the pain became less and less in my legs. So it's kind of like the Energizer Bunny, where every day I have bicycles, it was like recharging my battery, where I get a few days of no leg pain, and a few days eventually turned to weeks, and it turned to months, and eventually there was no pain left in my legs, to where I was almost completely felt normal.
How much time was that? How much time did it take you to start feeling normal?
Well, in the first about months, that's where I started really not having much pain in my legs. And within 6 months, I was completely you couldn't even tell I had an MS.
You know what, Kevin, and I want to backtrack a little bit here because I've, dealt with thousands of people with MS, and some of them are on the drugs, and their biggest fear is like, well, what if I come off and then I start to have withdrawal symptoms from the meds? That is what's keeping them from actually, looking at it in a different light. Did you have any withdrawal from the plethora of drugs that they had you on?
No, I had none whatsoever. I think the only withdrawal was just being scared. But I had to force myself to not be scared, because that's what I was scared of. Is what happens when you stop taking these medications? Are you going to have side effects to where you're going to be miserable? But that's something that I had to tell my mind that it's not going to stop me.
Right, absolutely. And a lot of people in the whole wheelhouse of MS live off of fear. The doctors put fear on us. If you don't get on a drug, you're going to be in a wheelchair. If you don't do this, it's going to progress. If you don't do that. And everything, going around fear is no way to live your life. It's just you can't do it. It's so debilitating to you on every level. As we know, the mind, body, spirit are all a part of this healing process. So you were starting to feel back to normal in 6 months. That is awesome. And where did you go from there?
Well, my friend Mallory, she introduced me to this book called The Secret. And in The Secret, it talks about the law of attraction. It's where not only was I changing the way I was eating, the way I was working out, but I was also changing my mindset to where I had to think of everything positive. I never let MS be an issue. I never thought about MS being an issue anymore. Everything I just saw was positive. I didn't live my life like I was sick anymore. Like when I went to the Southeastern Oklahoma State University, most of the students there had no idea I was sick because I didn't tell anybody. Because I think that if you tell people you're sick, then they feel sorry for you. And as they feel sorry for you, you start feeding off of that, and you don't realize it, but you start making yourself worse.
Absolutely. And I love that you read that book, The Secret, because when my whole life really changed, the topper was personal development, thinking in a different way. And one of the men that are in The Secret, or the movie, in fact, Jack Canfield is one of my mentors, and his training really taught me about what you think about, you bring about, and everybody needs that with their health. You just do. And the thing is, I tell everybody, never own your disease. The minute you take ownership is the minute it makes a home, and that really goes hand in hand with your thinking. So now we've got you thinking the right way, which, what I try to say, Kevin, that's the end portion here. I see people, they'll turn to diet, they'll turn to exercise, but if your mind is not right, if you're not thinking the right way, there's no way you're going to beat this. Can you talk a little bit more about your thinking in that area? And I like how you said, I didn't want to tell anybody, I didn't want their sympathy, because that's a negative energy. We want positive energy coming towards us. So what other things did you do for your growth mentally?
My growth mentally, it was more of living as normal as I could. Like I refused to believe I had MS because I didn't want to own it. Beforehand, I was ashamed. Like I was ashamed of having MS. And then as I started to come out of my shell, I had this idea. We were in our dorm. I had my cousin and my brother shared a dorm room with me, and we're all being bodybuilders. And we were going through supplements like pre-workout really quick, and that gets expensive when you got 3 people using it. So I had this idea to email USP Labs and talk about how much their product has helped me. And in return, that came with sponsorship, and as I grew from that, I realized that this isn't something that I should hold in. Like the world could use this.
Yeah.
So as I prayed one night that, I wish that I can help more people with MS. So all the pieces of the puzzle started to come together, and I became a motivational speaker, and that's more where positivity just flourished out of me. It was being able to share my journey with the world that it made this journey so much better.
I love that, Kevin, because I say the same thing. I know you're a motivational speaker. You're kind of famous. You're you've been interviewed. We guys got some pictures on the internet about you. So you're kind of famous in that life. But isn't that interesting? So something like MS has almost brought you to another level of giving back and paying it forward. And I feel like that has been the same thing with my journey. What can you take from this path that you've been put on? And by you helping other people, I mean, that's really where things start to come together, as we start to look at what we can give. And I just love that. Can you talk a little bit about, because we see your picture there online, of you in the wheelchair, then you all ripped and toned and built, and you've been interviewed by magazines, right? And can you talk a little bit about your infamy?
My what was that? Sorry?
For being famous, you're kind of like a rock star in the MS arena now, so.
Well, all that was just kind of happened. Once I put my story out, magazines started wanting to feature me. I don't really know how to explain all that. It just kind of happened overnight.
I love that, and I like that that's out there, and a lot of people will Google information, and you're there, and you're the beacon of hope to people.
That's pretty awesome.
It is. It's. I want to say it's amazing, but it's not. It's like we have a plan, and things just come together how they should, and you're thinking the right way, you're doing the right things, and again, that law of attraction. You prayed about helping other people, and what better way to get the word out than having your story in a magazine. How are you feeling today, Kevin? And, are you back to, you feel 100%? And kind of what is your daily routine?
Well, I feel probably the best I've ever felt in my life. I did a recent MRI in July, and the results came back that I have no active MS. But there's nothing showing up on my scans now, and it kind of blew my neurologist away to where he wasn't even recommending meds to me. I got a new neurologist, by the way. Got a new neurologist. He was blown away because everybody was saying, you have MS, you need to be on meds, you need to be on meds. So I kept changing doctors because I don't want a doctor that his view, if it doesn't align with mine, because I don't want to be meds pushed on me.
Exactly.
So new neurologist sees my results and recommends no medication. So that speaks volume for itself. I feel
and I
mentally
saw that MRI.
Much better.
I saw the 2 MRIs, and the transformation in your brain, the pictures, it's huge.
Yes.
And so that's
more visual.
Yes,
yeah.
It's awesome. And that just lets us know when you do things in a certain way to heal and repair the body, it will respond. Our bodies were made to heal if we give it the right tools, we give it the right environment. And I love that you have that picture out for people to see, Kevin, because it is so powerful. And so people can know, hey, I can do this too. So you're giving hope even more so to people. So you're feeling good. That MRI it's just Beautiful. And what's your daily workout like? I mean, do you work out every day? I mean, 6 days a week, 5 days a week? I mean, what's that path you're on with the workout routine?
I work out Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday. I get up every morning at 4:30, 4:45 in the morning, and I go to the gym, and then I go to work. That way when I get off work, I'm not too tired to work out. It gives me like that extra bit of go. Plus, it makes my day so much better because you work out in the morning, you release endorphins that make you happy, so you have a much better day. And then I've also changed my diet drastically, like over the years. You know, as you go, you progress. Like you learn more and more, and you intake more and more. In the beginning, I ate healthy, you know, your basic chicken, fish, turkey. But as I kept going further and learning more about what I'm putting into my body, now more, what you would say, pescatarian diet is just fish, fruit, veggies, nuts. I've cut gluten out, and I've also cut dairy out because I found that dairy with MS is not good at all.
Absolutely, and let's talk about that because some people are saying, oh, I still like dairy and everything. Well, check out the China study, and you will see the causal link between dairy and MS, and we cannot have that in our diets. It's an inflammatory food, and so we should really just stay away from that. So you're a really good diet, and that really helps everything because you're just, I would say even more so, Kevin, you're healing at a higher level now that you're just going to maintain.
I agree.
Now.
I agree fully.
I have a question for you, Kevin. So you went from a wheelchair to now living healthy, symptom-free. When people hear this, they're going to say, what should I do first? If you can give them, I mean, it's overwhelming, right? We going to start this new process to change, but being sick, that takes a toll on you too. So what would you recommend people start off right away?
Your mind. I think it's important to start learning. Like it's easy, or it makes it hard if you compare your life to somebody else's. I can't do this because this person's like this. Everybody with MS is different, so we're all going to be different. So it's important that you really invest your time into learning what's going to be beneficial to you. It's like some things are going to work and some aren't. So it's like it's the whole time I've been doing this. It's been 8 years on this journey. I tried different things and I paid attention to how my body reacted to it. So like as I was eating chicken, I noticed that it would make me feel tired, or when I eat dairy, it bothered my stomach and gave me stomach issues. It's a learning process. So you have to be patient and take the time to watch how your body reacts to certain things. Same thing with working out. Some people enjoy working out really fast, and that can be terrible for some. So it's more about learning your body, taking the time to learn what's good for you.
Awesome. And Kevin, obviously people are going to want to learn a little bit more about you after the broadcast. What's the best way they can connect with you?
Facebook is ultimately the best way that most people will get in contact with me. I have a YouTube videos, but I'm not on there very much. Facebook is generally the best way.
So just Kevin Smith on Facebook.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Kevin, I want to thank you so much for being on the broadcast today. I know this is really going to help so many people. And my bottom thoughts here and my last thoughts are just be open to new ideas. Be open to maybe things you've never heard of before, maybe some things that your doctor never told you. But no, your body was made to repair and heal. You weren't born with MS. Something is off, and we just need to start looking at the root cause and focus on healing. I want to thank everyone for being on the call today, and you can check me out, Kelly Alderton, on Facebook as well. And 24 hours after this broadcast, it will be available to you on YouTube. So thank you so much, Kevin, for being here, and I want to thank everyone for listening in, and God bless.
Take care.